Hey friends, today we are making cinnamon rolls, but not just any cinnamon rolls. These are Smitten Kitchen's no-knead cinnamon rolls. If you are one of the vegan viewers in the house, don't worry. Smitten Kitchen says this recipe works with vegan substitutions for every major ingredient. I'm super excited for this recipe for two reasons. First up, I love sweet, twisty breakfast breads, and I've made several of them in the past, but never a no-knead variety. Second, this is a viewer request. Miss MYT asked for Smitten Kitchen recipe tests, and so here we are, testing Smitten Kitchen recipes. So if you'd like to see something in particular, let me know in the comments down below, and I am happy to give it a go for you. Without any further ado, let's get right into it. In a large bowl, we're going to want to pour our warm milk of choice. Depending what type of yeast you're using, that will determine the temperature your milk wants to be at. Today's my first time using instant yeast, so my temperature is 120 to 130 F today. If you're using active dry yeast, you want to be around 105 to 110. Melted butter of choice that's also at that same temperature, along with some granulated sugar and kosher salt. And then sprinkle our yeast across the top and let that hang out just for a minute. Then we're pouring in the all-purpose flour and just giving that a quick mix together with either a spoon or a dough hook. Once all those dry bits are incorporated, I'm just going to throw some cling film on the top and get this into a warm spot to rise for a bit. Since I'm using instant yeast, I just need to let it hang out for 10 to 20 minutes. If you're using active dry yeast, you do want to let this hang out until it's about doubled in size, and that should take about an hour. While our dough is rising, we can prepare the filling. The recipe calls for actually just spreading the butter across the dough and then sprinkling the cinnamon and sugar across the top. However, whenever I make cinnamon rolls, my preference is actually to cream together the butter, sugar, and spices. I feel like that kind of keeps it trapped in the bun longer during the baking process. This is an optional step. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. I'm going to cream together my room temperature butter with some dark brown sugar and cinnamon and just beat this until it's light and fluffy, about 3 to 5 minutes. And once that looks absolutely beautiful, you can give it a little scrape and set it aside till we need it. Regardless of what yeast you're using, when your timer is up, we're going to pour in the last little bit of flour, give it a quick stir to combine, and then dump it out onto a lightly floured surface. We're rolling this out today to about 20 inches wide and a ½ inch thick, which meant that my dough was 20 by about 13. Once you've got your dough at the appropriate size, we are ready to cover this in that delicious filling. So I'm going to drop that all on the surface and then spread it out with my bent palette knife. The key movement here is that you want to be scraping parallel to the surface of the dough. You're not pushing it in, you're not scooping it down. You want to go just flat across. I like to start in the middle and work my way to the sides. Since we always trim off those kind of scraggly edges, if I run out of filling, I'd rather the scraggly edges be bare than the middle of my cinnamon roll. I also leave about a ½ inch on the far side of the dough bare. That's going to be the outside of the roll, and that bare spot's going to make it easier for us to seal it up. Starting on the side closest to you, grab about a ½ inch of dough and fold that over, and then slowly but surely we're going to just work our way rolling up the entire log. I was handling the heck out of this dough. Mine was sticking to the surface a little bit. I should have dusted with a bit more flour during the rollout process, but regardless, I made it work okay. When your log is fully rolled up, just give it a quick rock and squeeze just to seal that bottom seam. We're looking for about a 24-inch wide log of dough. Mine actually expanded from that initial 20 inches up to 24 inches during the rolling process. If yours didn't, you can kind of gently stretch that out. I'm baking my cinnamon rolls in a 9 by 13 pan today, which means I need 12 rolls out of this log. Then those cut rolls are going into a prepared 9 by 13 pan lined with parchment paper, greased with a little bit of butter of choice. With the pan loaded, we're going to let this hang out at room temperature to finish its second proof. If you're using active dry yeast, that means you're going to be looking at about 30 minutes. If you're using instant, around 15 to 20 minutes. We're going to bake for about 25 minutes today. You're looking for the rolls to be a nice golden brown, and your kitchen is going to smell amazing. When your buns have reached the appropriate level of bronze, you can pull them out of the oven and let them hang out while we make the frosting. In the large bowl, I've got my room temperature cream cheese. Going in with it is some powdered sugar and vanilla extract. You can certainly whisk this by hand. However, I like to go the easy way when possible, so I'm going to be using my hand mixer to get this cream together. Now that our buns have cooled a bit, we are ready to get our frosting on. So I'm going to dollop this on and then give it a little swirl with the back of my spoon. And easy as that, we are ready to enjoy. These look so good, and the smell in my kitchen right now is amazing. So I'm dying to give these a taste. Let's see how it is. Oh my God. So soft, frosting phenomenal, Cinnamon phenomenal. Such a nice contrast of textures going on here. We've got the really, really soft, tender bread, and then the edges and the bottom are a little bit crispy where that sugar kind of caramelized against the edges of the pans. Plus we've got that really gooey, sticky frosting. This is really everything I'm looking for in a classic cinnamon roll, and I cannot believe how easy this was to make. I really hope you enjoyed this week's video. If you did, please be sure to give me a big thumbs up and click subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.